Hi, I'm Adam Rich, and I'll be presenting today the Chestatee High School 2016-2017 data overview, intended for my high school faculty to help us better prepare and move forward. Specifically, our purpose is to provide an overview of school demographic, EOC, and milestone data to provide an insight into how the school is performing and to see what trends might arise through the data to see how the data can drive our instructional changes. In order to take steps forward as a school, we need to understand the past and look in depth into what are the areas of strengths and weaknesses in the school. So today, the content we're going to provide for you are our demographic data, our EOC and CCRPI scores, in which I'll show you the strengths and areas of improvement. And finally, there's some essential questions that we as a faculty must address in order to continue to grow as a faculty. So first of all, you'll see over the past 3 years we've had a steady increase of our student population from 1,251 students all the way now to 1,361 students. And again, every year we've gone up a steady growth rate of at least 50 or more students. Now, with that being said, our breakdown of our ethnicity has changed over the time. In 2014-15, we were 55% Caucasian. And then as the years have gone on over the past 2 years, now in 2016, we're down to 50%. However, our Hispanic population has increased from 40% both those years to now 45%. Still totaling combined, both of them, 95% of our population and predominant mix of our population. As you can see, both our African American, Asian, and all of our other ethnicities are at 3% or less. So again, predominant force of our population and growing is our Hispanic and white populations. Now, with that being said, our free and reduced lunch in this population is over half, whereas 52% in both 2013 and now 2015, at the highest being 54% in 2014. So it does show you that we do have to keep that into account and factoring in what we understand. Now, our graduation rates have been amazing. We have had 91% in 2013-14, a slight drop in 2014-85, but a huge jump this past year to 94% in 2015 and 16, and it can also be shown the increase in our school through our CCRPI scores over the past 4 years. We are at 75.9 in 2012, a slight drop in 2013 at 73.4, but continued growth now in 2014 at a 76.2 and an 83.4 in 2015. So, where are these? What is causing this steady growth? Well, I think that some of these numbers can be caused in our U.S. history and economics, also 9th grade lit and American literatures. These are probably our two greatest strengths as of right now in our data. So let's go through this. Economics and business and free enterprise, looking at the milestone EOC, you can see that 48% of our students are distinguished or proficient in the EOC, which is a little drop from 2015, but again, compared to everybody else in the state, that is amazing. And what you really want to see here is the 17% drop in our beginners to now where we're at 38% developing, and then again 48% distinguished and proficient. Just like our economics, U.S. history also has had some great gains, dropping down 1% in our beginners, moving now where most of our students are in the developing, distinguished, and proficient. Specifically, 43% are in the distinguished and proficient in 2016. A little down from 2015, but still with most of our students out of that beginner range. And you can see how it compares to the rest of the state as we are blowing them out of the water here as we grow from tied here in 2013, but in 2014 our scores are 68 to the state average 62, and in 2015 78% of our students met or exceeded the goals, and whereas the state was down to 65%. So definitely one of our strengths of our school. Now, also a strength, though, with some discrepancies in the numbers, is our 9th grade lit and our American lit. Now, one thing that does cause for concern is the fact in 2015 to 2016 we did have a jump from 23% to 34% of beginners, and a little bit of a drop in our proficient from 30 to 19. And the same in 2015 2016 in American Lit, where you see, again, an upswing of 7% of our beginners. However, when you compare it to the state in our meet and exceed through our CCRPI, you can see that we are 3% above them and tied with Hall County at 66% to 63 in 2013. But in 2014, we're at 70% compared to 64% in the state. And then again, above both Hall County and the state, when we're at nearly 78% of our students met or exceeded this. So again, I believe an area for strengths, though we do need to look in more into why is there this discrepancy between the CCRPI data shown and now the milestone EOCs. Now, this goes into probably our weakest areas in coordinate algebra, analytic, and geometry, as well as physical science and biology. Though I will say coordinate algebra and analytic geometry are not as weak as they're portrayed to be, and I'll show you what I mean as we go. So again, at Chestatee and our EOC, our coordinate algebra is actually at 29% distinguished and proficient, and only 21% that are beginners, which is actually down from 2015. Same with analytic geometry, where in 2015, 31% are beginners to 21% now, and a huge upswing in distinguished at 20%, way above the state. But when you look at our CCRPI, we're way down. In 2013, we're 63 to 66%. We do go up to 67 and above the state average, but still below the county average at 67%. And then again, 67% again here. So again, an area of strength, but it does concern you when the rest of the county has this huge gap above you at 4%. And it does make me wonder if there are ways that we can build from the county to use them to help us bring up that extra 4% that we have. Now, the biggest area of concern I have is, again, biology and physical science. Biology did go down in the amount of students in beginner level to 4%. But if you notice, we were at 46% of students that were distinguished or proficient, which those numbers did go up slightly in 2016. In physical science, though, again, 33% of our students are beginner level, which is a very high. I know compared to the state, we're still a little below that, but you'd like to see that number to go down. But what scares you is look at this data. In 2013, our numbers were amazing. We were at 75%, well above anybody in the state and in the county. Again, still pretty high in 2014 at 72%, still solidly above the county. But this is what scares you, and what the biggest reason why I would say this is one of our areas of weakness. We have to know why we jumped down from 75%, slight drop to 72%, to a huge drop to 61%, and now below both that of Hall County and the state of Georgia. A big red flag and something that we need to address as a faculty. So let's look at the observations I've made specifically. One, our CCRPI score has jumped from 75.9% to 83.4%, and a direct correlation with our graduation rates from 91% to 94%. So great job, first of all, Chestatee. Also, U.S. history and economics have steadily risen in both county and state ranks in 2015 to where now we're Chestatee is 78% compared to Hall County at 72% and the state at 65%. Biology and physical science, however, made a huge drop from being higher than the county in 2013 and 2014 to now we're at 61% compared to 65 and 64. Again, the biggest concern we have. Other observations, the difference in the scores between American Lit and ninth grade from our CCRPI to our EOC. In CCRPI, 78% of our students met or exceeded, yet only 34% in ninth grade Lit and 27% in American Lit are at the beginning rates. So how is there only 22% difference in CCRPI, yet a 34 or 27% difference in EOC? So we need to figure this gap out. Why is there this huge gap? Finally, difference in both coordinate algebra and geometry, with 79% developing or higher on the CCRPI, and again, 33% of students didn't meet EOC requirements. So again, you need to look at why this data is showing such discrepancies. So my questions to us as we grow and try to build from this is, first of all, why is there this sudden drop in biology and physical science after it was the main strength of our school? 2, how can we lower the number of students in all of our courses to 15% or less beginner levels or developing, while also challenging our students to strive to be proficient distinguished, the differentiation factor that we always are striving for? How can we collaborate with other math teachers in the county to bridge the gap between our students? We see our counties going up. What can we do to bridge that gap and grow with the county? Finally, why is there such a difference in the CCRPI score and the EOC scores in English based on the number of students at the beginner level? And how can we bridge this gap and keep our scores in both high? I hope this helps, and I hope we're able to learn from our data and grow together and make sound decisions using data to help guide us. Thank you.